The Bongcast!
Yo, cannabis lovers, welcome to the Bongcast, a podcast about people in cannabis. Well, like the industry. You know, they're not actually like inside the weed, but you know what I'm saying. My name is Matt Meredith, and I am your host, your guide, whatever you want me to be, really. But I am pleased to announce that this is the first episode of the first podcast that is produced by Cottonmouth Media. And that is my company, my brand, me, Matt Meredith, I guess, in a way, too. But Cottonmouth Media is my creative agency that specializes in commercial-grade photography as well as documentary-style video for cannabis-friendly events, items, things, whatever, really. And Cottonmouth Media, I guess, has become my YouTube, brand, entity, whatever you want to call it. But basically the whole point of why I'm doing Cottonmouth Media on the internet is because I'm trying to, one, document the cannabis industry. Two, I want to be a guide for all of the beginners and people out there that are just initially thinking about, hey, I want to try some cannabis. What do I do? I want to help be that guide for those people that don't quite know what to do and want some unintimidating, non-threatening, but funny way to start getting involved in the cannabis. So that's what Cottonmouth Media is. Hope you can jump on board with that. And funny enough, actually, the way that I initially started creating content in the cannabis industry was thanks to the guest that I have here on the first episode of the Bongcast, and none other than Sam Sartaj. Sam and I actually go way back. We used to play high school basketball together. We ended up parting ways after graduation. He was a grade ahead of me, but kind of like what I said, he got me back involved with him by calling me up about a video that he saw that I had helped create. And so he invited me to an event. The rest is history. I got involved in the cannabis space, making videos, helping him film a lot of his events, actually, called Blunt Talks, which are basically TED Talks, but for cannabis industry people. Great networking opportunity, as well as informational learning about different industry leaders and the different experiences that they've had so far in the industry. Anywhere from people that have been working in the industry for the last 20 plus years and people that have just started with the industry. So it's a great opportunity for all different levels of people in the industry. Blunt Talks. If you're just trying to get into it, check those out. Have that link in the description, no doubt. And then Sam actually was also a huge help for me when I was initially getting some of my first clients in the industry when I first started. And so a huge thank you to him for when I was just starting to get my foot in the door because of him. And then, he helped me connect to some awesome brands that led to where I am today. Water break. But back more to this podcast and what exactly it is that we got to. It was this was a great sit down with Sam. I'm really happy about the different topics that we went over. We talked about some really dope stuff regarding Sam's background, his experiences, and his knowledge about the cannabis industry, including some of what his long-term goals are for himself with cannabis. So really excited to be able to share this conversation with people out there. First episode, I'm really happy about it. We laughed. We talked about weed. We talked about other things in the industry. We had a good time. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Sam Sartaj on the Bongcast. I hope you enjoy. So for you, what's your main goal in cannabis? What long term you want to be known for and do,
Well, eventually, the main goal is to grow cannabis in outer space, because cannabis produces 4 times as much oxygen as, most plants. And if we put some cannabis plants in outer space, we could potentially end global warming. And so that's kind of like a joke, but it's also 100% serious.
Cottonmouth Media!
Yeah. Baby girl, you're so damn fine, though. Wanna know if I can hit it from behind, though. I'm sipping on you like some strong wine, though. When it's over, I press rewind.
It's so funny, I can only see you.
Oh really? Yeah, because the lens is so fucking long.
That's good though. now it's like not like I'm not gonna judge myself.
No doubt. I've definitely practiced like not looking at that when I'm like talking to the camera, you know?
Can I look at it, or where should I look?
Just you can pretend that shit's not there and you can just talk to me. We're kind of close, so you can like, you don't have to like be like, what's up, you know? But dope, dude. Thanks for being here, of course.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it, dude. Welcome to you're the first person I'm recording the Bongcast with.
Hell yeah.
So I'm stoked. That's actually randomly super appropriate because you were the entire reason. Wait, hold on, sorry. This microphone's not on, I just realized. But anyways, yeah, no, it's super appropriate. I feel like that you're the first person that I'm interviewing because you were like the person that initially got me into the industry.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, dude.
I'm glad I was able to help you get in.
It worked
You
out.
definitely made your own path, so
I
good for you,
appreciate it.
man.
I appreciate it. It definitely was interesting because when you messaged me, right, and you asked, yo, are you a videographer? And I was like...
I don't even remember any of this.
You asked me if I was a videographer, dude, and I was like, yeah, totally, you know, like, fuck yeah, dude. And you said, because you were trying to invite me to that event, Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off. And so then I was like, hell yeah, I'm a videographer. And then I went, and that was like literally the first event that I had ever recorded, ever. And then from there, it just like, it worked out.
Hell yeah.
It worked itself
That's
out.
awesome.
But from that one event, I was able to like piggyback my conversations from that one event.
I feel like there's a million sayings that you could say with that, but the one that comes to head is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so good for you, bro.
Totally. But yeah.
Glad you're telling me that now, though, and not back then, because I probably wouldn't have used you.
Exactly, dude. Fake it a little bit till you make it.
Exactly.
But thank you, first of all. So, but anyways, less about me, more about you. I want to hear just a brief synopsis of who Sam Sartaj is. I'm saying that last name correctly, right?
Yeah.
Zartoshty.
As correctly as you can.
Hell yeah. And yeah, just tell me, you know, the brief bio of you and kind of what you do in cannabis industry.
Yeah, so my brief bio, as far as the cannabis industry goes, I about 2.5 years ago, I started a company called Paragon, and the idea was we wanted to be the LinkedIn for cannabis, and we kind of tried that for a little bit, didn't really work out, tried a few other things, and what's kind of stuck is we started doing these events called Blunt Talks, which you've definitely filmed a few of those, so thank you for that, and I think you've definitely helped them stick, but yeah, our events are pretty much like TED Talks for cannabis is like how I like to describe them, and I think that's kind of what we're known for right now. And then what I've done in the industry, as far as the legal industry, is I've worked for like a cannabis publication, a magazine company. I worked for a distribution company and manufacturing company. And right now I work with a brand. Not like a full-time thing, but I think you know the brand too, Lit Club.
Mm-hmm.
And here that's for you. It's like one of the new flavors, and
Oh dang.
And yeah, so I help my family's kind of involved in the industry, so I help them out with a few different things, and yeah, I just I guess what I'm kind of known for is just being very well networked with a lot of the right people and a lot of good people, and a lot of people that, you know, people want to do business with and work with, and that's kind of where I spend a lot of my time, is helping connect the dots and helping people, you know, just make the right connections so that they can take their business to the next level and they can help the other person do the same. So I guess that's a little bio.
No, that's good, man. That's good. There's definitely a few things I thought of while you were saying that, but I guess like the first one is, one, are you comfortable with talking about previous black market experience or no? Like if it was a while ago.
In general terms, yeah.
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 Okay, cool. Just curious. But and like the companies that you've also worked with, like in manufacturing and stuff, you don't mind like saying the names of those companies?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Just wanted to clarify. But cool. So, like, for me, when I'm describing you to some people, sometimes I'll ask if people know who you are, and then you were saying how you know a lot of these people that people want to be able to do business with, and like, where is that value for you?
Yeah, right? That's something that, you know, at this time I'm kind of figuring out as far as how to make it financially beneficial, but over the past 2 years, the value that it's kind of given me is it's helped me build my reputation, and not just like my reputation, like, you know, like, oh, he's like a cool kid, like, type of thing. Like, it's not like that. It's like your business reputation. And in this industry, I think that's really important. And a lot of people think, you know, I've been doing this for my whole life, and a lot of people think, you know, yeah, I do have some family connections in the industry, but a lot of people think that's the reason why I'm so well connected. And it's like, no, you know, I kind of started by myself 2 years ago in the Bay Area, and I didn't know anyone up there, and I just went around and I did as much good as I could, because, I mean, that's what everyone says to do, is, like, give before you ask. So I just tried to help as many people as I could, and that's what I'm good at. It's what I've always been good at, is networking and connecting people, whether it's, you know, through friends or through business. I'm just good at connecting people. And now I'm at the point where I've done it enough to where I not only feel like I should be making some money doing it, but I've had a lot of people tell me, you know, why aren't you making money, and you should charge for this. And it's like, you know, kind of
You're a nice guy.
Yeah, well, then it takes, like, the fun out of it. Like, the good is, like, I know I'm doing someone good, and, like, you know, like, it just makes you feel good, you know?
That
It's
they
like,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's, like, selfishly, like, people get off on different things, and I get off on people, like, appreciating me type of thing.
No doubt.
And so money's never been an issue for me. I've always had, like, you know, different sources of income, or one good source of income type of thing. But now it's kind of to the point where, you know, I'm getting a little bit older. I just turned 25, and it's like, shit, you know, some of my friends are buying houses and getting married, and I'm like, you know, I'm still just doing what I was doing a few years ago.
That's okay. I think to that point, it's funny that, like, I know you've listened to and know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, and a lot of the things that you do, like, you're a huge, you give, and then I feel like you could even, you know, what people are saying, I guess you could ask for a little bit more.
Yeah.
But and then it's funny though, I feel like you and him get off on the same thing of people liking that you did good shit for them, not just liking you, but liking that you actually did something good for them at the same time.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if people like you. Those people come and go.
Right.
You know? But
Right.
It's like, I have people that, you know, I worked with a few years ago in other businesses and other things, and they still text me, you know, like, happy birthday and happy new year, and, like, hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for, you know, what you did. And I mean, I was on the phone with a guy a few days ago who, you know, we worked together maybe like 4.5, 5 years ago, and you know, I ended up essentially like giving him some hats to sell. I had a hat company at the time. He sold them, didn't pay me back, and, you know, I kind of was like, whatever, it's like $300, like, it's a loss, it's not a big deal. And 3 years later, which was like last week, he just randomly texted me like, hey bro, I owe you a couple $100, like, I have some money now and I want to pay you, and I'm actually doing really well now, and I want to talk about what you're doing and see if I can invest or see, you know, what I can do. And this kid went from, you know, he was making good money, but now he's making really good money to where he just bought a house, he bought a couple cars, he bought his mom a house, he's like, you know, doing very well. And you know, that's just something that kind of like, it came around.
Yeah,
you
good
know?
karma for you, for sure.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny, piggybacking more on that, the fact that you're so young, you know, like, I guess it seems like we're getting older just because, you know, we're only the age that you are and you don't know what you don't know. But, like, your friends buying houses or cars, you know, that's fine and that's great if they're doing that stuff, but that doesn't measure your level of success by any means, you know?
Oh yeah.
No, it's funny. I'm actually reading a book right now, The Success Intelligence, and it talks about your different contracts of success.
That book right there, I see it.
And people, but it talks about everyone has a different contract for success in their head. And it's interesting sometimes to think about like the other people around you and their viewpoint of you on success, but that's usually what your view of success is, what the people closest to you view as for your success. And so it definitely gets in your head sometimes, but I think you're doing really well is my point I was making.
Yeah.
Is that you got time, you're young. I don't know who said it originally, but the saying is that like you're on the perfect time for you.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I like that.
Fuck yeah. But anyways, dude, backtracking a little bit, not so much related to cannabis, but like your experience before cannabis and how you kind of develop these networking skills that you have and your really good business etiquette. Like, what were some of the things that you did leading up to being in cannabis?
Well, first of all, I think a big thing is like my parents. They just were not your typical crazy Persian parents. I mean, they're definitely crazy and they're definitely Persian, but they definitely like raised me to be like a good friend and a good person, like above anything else. And they raised me to always like be a good host, always take care of people, and I think that's like the root of a lot of my character, I guess you'd say. And then as far as like past business experience, in high school, I think I got into like multi-level marketing or network marketing or whatever you want to call it, and we were selling energy drinks and
what was it called again?
Verve.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming back. They're making Verve with CBD now.
No way.
Yeah, trying to
getting back in the game, bro.
No, I'm not. They're trying to get on the hype though, but yeah. So that was like a networking business, and you sold products, and you went around and you like did these like different conferences and events, and I don't know. It's just like. It's just
you learned how to sell yourself.
Yeah, I learned. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess you'd say that.
I think you probably naturally had that ability already, but it put you in those uncomfortable situations where you had to kind of make that shine.
Yeah, you could say that.
But you did pretty well, no?
Yeah, no, I did really well in that, and met a lot of different people. But it's so. That business is so different, like that it's like more about like you're focused on quick sales versus like long-term relationships, and I think something that I'm like more like I'm pretty good at, or I try and be good at. It's kind of hard when you meet so many different people, but I try and be good at like having like a long-term relationship and not just meeting someone once and then, talking to them once and then that's kind of it. But more so like, I can not only help you now, but I'll help you in 6 months, I'll help you in a year, and I'll help you in 2 years, and hopefully, in 3 years when I need help, you'll help me type of thing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm like more focused on, and I'm not sure if I got that from that business or where I got that from. I think Gary Vee and a lot of the books I read when I was in that business, and like hearing people like him speak, and Tony Robbins and Bob Proctor, and just kind of hearing how everyone that's successful kind of says the same things, that you got to do good if you want good to happen to you type thing. And so yeah, that's yeah.
Totally, man. Totally. You got to speak, right, at a conference?
Yeah, I've spoken at a ton of conferences. Spoken in front of like 100 people, 10,000 people, 12,000 people.
What's the main thing that you speak about? You've been speaking recently?
Not kind of. I mean, I do a few like smaller events now, not in the thousands. That was like back in previous days, because I was essentially the young successful brown kid in my company.
Right.
So they let me speak at all the big national conferences, and when everyone would kind of fly in and they'd have a ton of people there, I'd really just speak about myself. And I didn't really understand it at the time, but they were kind of using me as an example, and they were kind of saying, if this kid can do it, why can't you do it? And I would just get up there with like my backwards hat and be like, "What's up, guys?" Like, you know, and didn't really take it seriously, to be honest. Now I speak at, like I said, a few smaller events, and then I host Blunt Talks, which is like my main like speaking thing. We try and do that once every 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm getting up in front of like 100 or so people. So that's kind of the majority of my speaking right now.
When's the next Blunt Talk?
Well, the next one is January 22nd. I'm not sure when this is.
This may or may not be out before that. It probably won't be. Won't be. Realistically, it'll be.
So the last one was January 22nd, and that was in Long Beach. The next one, I'm not 100% sure when it's going to be, but if you go to blunttalks.com, it'll redirect you to whatever the current event is, if there is a current event. And if you follow our Instagram, it's People of Paragon, then you can definitely just kind of follow the events there.
For sure. For sure.
Little plug.
Have you ever seen Real Bros of Simi Valley?
No.
It's like Jimmy Tatro. Yeah, it's pretty, but it's like hilarious because it's like exactly like your friend group. Like I bet if you watch, you'd be like, oh, that's totally like our friend group. That's dope though. I definitely I did Isogenics for a little bit, and I went to their like event in Vegas and like saw people speaking like that, and I
spoke at one of those.
Right, and I thought of you.
Yeah.
That's funny though. That's dope though. That's like a really good experience for sure. Even maybe if you didn't take it seriously at the time, I'm sure like reflecting on it, it gave you a lot of really good experience.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not that I didn't take it seriously. I just didn't take it as seriously as I should have. I didn't understand like the potential of really what I had.
Yeah, well, you're more mature now. You know? And it's funny though. It's definitely been cool to watch you grow too in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like 85% of the people that I speak with in the cannabis industry know your name. But no, filming those Blunt Talks for me, that definitely helped me a ton. I like the networking that I got by going to all of your events. Like, you introduced me to a lot of the people that I worked with last year, if not directly, indirectly in some capacity.
That's the goal.
Yeah, and like whether or not they worked out for best or worst or whatever, like those experiences have shaped me into like the person who I am today. And like on New Year's last year, which was at an event that you hooked me up with, someone that was like the very first time ever, I was like, hey, I'm Matt, like Cottonmouth Media, like, oh, I know your brand, like I follow your Instagram.
Hell yeah.
And I was like,
that's so sick.
Hell yeah, bro. It was super random. Yeah, that was like the first time that happened. It was about a year ago.
That's pretty badass, dude.
Yeah. So now, ever since that point, I definitely was like, oh, for sure, I'm gonna take this even more seriously. But my YouTube's going a lot better. You know, I'm doing a lot more tutorial stuff, all about thinking about the value.
Oh yeah.
But for you, like, as we're like in this transition phase from Prop 215 to Prop 64, an interesting thing that I think you have an interesting perspective on that, and I'm curious how you think that will either positively or negatively affect white market folks, and then of course it's different for black market people, but overall, how do you kind of feel about it, or feel that businesses are feeling about it?
Well, it depends if you were in business before legalization or not. If you were, then you're not really happy with legalization. Because for the people that have gotten licenses, they're not making any money, or they're not making any profit.
Especially compared to what you can when there's no taxes.
Yeah, and then the people that are still in the black market, they might be making a little bit of money, but prices have dropped so significantly, and there's it's like a flood right now. So they're not making too much money, you know. Instead of making $100 a pound, I'm sure they're happy making $25 a pound now. And I don't really know, but I'm sure.
Sorry, you're talking about black market?
Yeah. Like if you're moving pounds and shit, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So I think, you know, for me personally, I think legalization is definitely a good thing. It's like I got pulled over with 60 pounds in my trunk, but it was like legal. And
that was recently?
No, it wasn't recently. It was at the beginning of last year. It was like a year ago.  'Year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like, 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 if Prop 64 hadn't have passed, that would have been. Well, I ended up spending a little bit of time in a cell, but then they were like, oh yeah, okay, you have your paperwork, you're good to go. And if I didn't have that paperwork, the old Prop 215 paperwork, it doesn't really say you're gonna have 60 pounds on you.
What was that like getting booked for that?
Well, I didn't get booked, or I guess I kind of did, but I didn't get the charges for it.
Or excuse me, what was it like to be arrested for that?
That was scary because I was in the middle of nowhere, and they were let's just say they were all as white as could be.
Intimidating?
No, they were just white. I don't know if they were
racist.
Yeah. I don't know if they were intimidating. I don't really
or
get.
Tried to be intimidating, rather.
Nah, they were just kind of stupid, but you could tell what their intentions were and why
they weren't. They weren't being too nice to Sam.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm not too used to that because cops around here are just really nice, and so it's kind of like, holy shit, that's like what you see on Facebook and that's the videos. But yeah, so I think it's good. It's gonna keep people out of jail that aren't really like money motivated. People that are money motivated are gonna go above the line, and I think some of them are still gonna go to jail because there's gonna be guns involved and there's gonna be just shit involved. And I think that's the problem with legalization. That's eventually gonna get fixed. It's eventually gonna balance itself out. But right now it's like, we kind of went from black to white. Or I guess that's not a really good example. We kind of just flipped the switch on, and there's still a lot of problems with like the circuits, if that makes sense.
Well, there's no infrastructure for all of these supposed
trying
things.
to think of a good.
No, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Totally. I totally mean.
So I think it's gonna slowly but surely start fixing itself, and then when it does kind of get to the point where it's fixed, at that point, then all the big pharma and big tobacco and big guys are going to be in the industry, and it's going to kind of be just like, a commodity, which kind of sucks. I think there's still going to be, hopefully, craft growers, because I don't want to smoke, like, mass-produced shit.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people do, but there's a lot of people that don't really care. And so that's like the new consumer.
Sounds like craft beer,
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But as far as legalization, I think overall it's a good thing. It just isn't as good as it could be, and it can and will get a lot better, I think, or I hope at least, because otherwise it's not perfect right now.
Yeah. So for you and having a tech company, are you still working on building a platform?
Yeah, so we have, like I said, we kind of started wanting to be the LinkedIn for cannabis. We kind of built that, then moved away to like a Tinder for jobs type of app. Then we realized, we just realized a lot of things that people want, a lot of things more importantly that people don't want. And now what we're essentially doing is we're white labeling out our job board. So just like a lot of brands, they'll kind of white label products. They'll buy blank products from someone, put their brand on it, and it's their brand, but they don't really make or manufacture the products.
Right.
And that's kind of what we're doing with our job board. We're essentially giving our job board out to media companies and news companies and anyone that's in the cannabis industry that has an audience that could benefit from a job board. Because everyone that's trying to learn about the industry or look into the industry, whether they're already in with a job or not, they're probably going to be interested in seeing what else is out there. And so that's our whole value prop to companies, and we can essentially give them a job board with their branding, all of their logos and all that good stuff. It fits in seamlessly. And then our business model with that is, right now we're building out the network. And once we have over 1 million unique visitors that are viewing our job boards on all the different sites that we're partnered with, then we're going to start charging companies to post jobs through, our network.
Right.
And the cool thing that we give the news companies and the media companies that use our job board is we give them the ability to actually sell job listings, and they keep that profit, and it's a revenue driver for them. But those jobs only go through their job board. If they want to sell it through the kind of whole job network, then we split the profit. So that's kind of what we're focused on right now as far as technology. But that shit's just hard. You know, it's really hard and really expensive. But the reason why
it's a forever game.
Yeah, but the reason why I've been working on it for so long is because I definitely see that's where, or I feel that's where the biggest long-term returns are going to be. There's just so much more competition everywhere else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I definitely, it's funny because I'm called Cottonmouth Media. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a media company, but I guess by definition I am. My girlfriend and I've been actually moving more away from cannabis in most of the content I've been producing just because of the people that I know, I guess. But so we're a creative agency now by definition, and then Cottonmouth Media is just a DBA. But I definitely I've met with a few different other people creating content in the cannabis industry, and at least the people that I've met up with, they're small scale and they don't seem to care about quality of content. They care about quantity of content. And it's very interesting to me though. But there's definitely obviously prohibited is destroys, civilized destroys. So it's I definitely want to interact more with those companies and see what they're doing. But I feel that's not necessarily the type of company that I would want to be, you know? And so there's definitely Cottonmouth Media is a clever name, but I think I'm really trying to be more of a videographer influencer within the industry.
Oh yeah.
And so then it's so interesting though because I'm almost contradicting, confusing people by saying Cottonmouth Media rather than I don't even know.
Yeah, people remember that and that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's good, I guess. But
oh yeah.
But hell yeah. So for you, what's your main goal in cannabis? What long term you want to be known for and do, you know?
Well, eventually, you know, the main goal is to grow cannabis in outer space because cannabis produces 4 times as much oxygen as, you know, most plants. And if we put some cannabis plants in outer space, we could potentially end global warming. And so that's kind of a joke, but it's also 100% serious.
Yeah.
And
I'm laughing, but it's also exciting in a way.
Yeah. So I mean, if you just think about it logically, it could 100% work and make sense. And it wasn't my idea, but someone told me that a long time ago, and I was like, damn, well, if no one else is doing that, I'm going to do that.
Dude,
so that's
hit up Elon Musk.
Yeah. Right? That's what you got to do. Put some...
just buy a rocket from him.
Yeah, put some weed plants on his rockets.
Hey, he's dabbled. He's touched the industry for a second. That's super funny. That's really cool, actually, though.
Yeah.
Do you have is that just your goal and do you have any?
No, it's my crazy wild goal. It's not realistic.
What's your realistic legacy though? The realistic Sam legacy.
I haven't thought too much about it because, you know, hopefully I'm doing this, I'm only 25, hopefully I'm doing it a lot longer, you know? But definitely it won't be anything you know, I've done people wrong or I've cheated or stolen or I don't want that to be my legacy. You know, I don't know what I want it to be, but I know what I don't want it to be and what it won't be.
You definitely want to be remembered as a good guy.
Yeah, hell yeah, of course.
Okay, last question though. I just slipped out of my tongue. Oh, as far as now that you're a part of obviously the white market, what have you had any negative experiences with people in the industry as far as them being dishonest or not seeing your value or taking advantage of you?
Nah.
Never?
No, I've seen a ton of that.
I was really? I was surprised.
Yeah. That's why honestly for the past 2-3 months, kind of taken a little bit of a break. Tried to hang out with my my friends a lot more, like outside of the industry, which I wasn't doing for a while. I was really just focused on work and going to networking events that were business related and work related and meeting as many people as I could. But for the past few months, I've just tried to, like I said, take a break, spend a lot of time with my friends and family, and just, I've watched a few Netflix shows that everyone always told me I needed to watch that I've never seen because I never had time to watch TV. But yeah, the past few months I've just kind of taken a break because I guess the word is jaded. I was like jaded from a lot of people, you know, and I've definitely firsthand experienced like the shadiness of certain people, and it's not just because of this industry. It's like there's shadiness in every industry, and I've experienced it in every industry and every business that I've been in. I just think right now this industry, there's a lot of like what they call like profiteers, people coming in for money and with bad intentions.
Right.
And those are really a lot of the ones that you see out and about and trying to network and meet people and take advantage of people, for lack of better words. That's kind of just the way anything that's kind of like a new, exciting business is going to be. That's kind of what I've been a part of my whole life. And, yeah, so I've definitely experienced that. But, can't really complain. It's expected almost. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever like feared for your life in this industry?
Not in the legal industry.
But in the black market industry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Just because there's stupid people.
Dude, you're telling me, man. I've definitely, even in my short time, being a part of the industry, people that I thought, oh man, these people are great, they got it together, just totally...
That's usually the first sign that they don't have it together.
Yeah, totally taking advantage of me. But, oh man, thunder. But yeah, no, I'm excited though. I think this new year is going to be, like for ancillary services, I think this is a good time now. Because you're going to get a lot of the black market people that are really trying for that short-term profit, are not going to be able to afford. One, they're not going to be around as not as many of them, and then they're not going to be around to fucking hire you for a photography job or a consulting job or whatever your ancillary services. So I think 2019. I don't think 2018 was necessarily a. I guess we got flash flood warnings.
You can't even turn this off. Yeah, we do.
Oh, cool. Well, that's not cool. Flash floods aren't cool.
Yeah, I gotta go, bro.
yeah. No, but I think 2019 is definitely going to be the year of ancillary services. I don't think 18 was the time because everyone and their mother needed to spend money on being compliant and being okay, even if they were completely white market and actually did have money. But I think now that Prop 64 is going to be officially enacted, I think ancillary services will explode this year.
Oh yeah.
So if you have any referrals, let me know. But I'm down to make that video of you too, actually. Your highlight, your Sam reel.
Oh yeah.
But hell yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have, dude. Thanks for being the first guest on the Bongcast.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Did it hurt dyeing your hair?
Yeah. So the first time, this is the second time I did it actually. The first time I did it, they did it twice. So they because my hair was longer, and so they bleached it once, and then we washed it out, and then they did it again to make it more platinum, and like it already exfoliates your scalp when you do it, so the pores were completely open. So then when they put it on the second time, it was literally like a bunch of bees were just like stinging the top of my head. And you just had to like kind of get used to it. But the second time was way more pleasant. Way more pleasant.
Fashion kills, man.
Fashion kills and literally kills your hair. So.
Dude, Jesus.
But I think it's a fun look. I get more like, people are like, what? No, it's not.
But yeah, that was kind of what was that really the top of my head this whole interview.
It was literally on top of my head. Alright, man. Don't forget to follow Sam Z. He's the man. Paragon. It'll be down in the link in the description. But Cottonmouth Media, yo.
Yo.
We out. Dang, bro.
Yeah. Baby girl, you're so damn fine, though. Wanna know if I can hit it from behind, though. I'm sipping on you like some strong wine, though. When it's over,
Hope you guys enjoyed this first podcast with me and Sam. I really enjoyed filming it, and I'm really looking forward to this second episode with Patrick and Jay, the Bird Rock Advisors. So thanks again for listening or watching or whatever it is you did to this podcast. And hopefully I will see you in the next episode. Cottonmouth Media, yo. We out. But otherwise, yo, I'll see you guys in the next Cottonmouth Podcast. Is that how we should do this? I don't know. Whatever. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace! I'm out of here, man. Woo! Gotta fix my hair.
Cottonmouth Media.